Pareto Principle is the idea that 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. Basically, the universe's passive-aggressive way of saying 20% of people are Himothy the Ascended, while the rest of you are just background NPCs farming XP in the Goon Cave. Named after the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, he noticed that 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the people. A guy being an absolute banger of a statistician, then proceeded to do some economist-ing in, of all places, his garden. Yes, that's a historically accurate fact. And it was there that he saw that 20% of the legume pods produced 80% of the peas, which allowed him to unlock some cosmic capitalism power like it was a secret DLC in The Sims, and led him to the conclusion man was surrounded by peak lopsided energy, not only economically, but horticulturally. And just like that, the 80-20 rule was born, and humanity's to-do list has never recovered, making you feel both highly efficient and extremely lazy at the same time since 1896. But now 80-20 doesn't exactly mean 80 and 20. It could mean 90-10, 95-5, or one dude doing all the work while 11 others stand around like it's a Fortnite lobby. The main takeaway, a few are putting in all the input, the rest are just vibing uselessly like your left AirPod after a wash cycle. Right? Right? Well, kind of. Because here's the twist. Sometimes that 80% that looks useless, it's just not visible on the final scoreboard. Don't confuse inefficient with irrelevant. It just tracks outcome, and outcomes are messy. So, like, what's going on here? Why does the Pareto Principle occur? Straight up, uneven distribution is just how the universe rolls, baby. Okay, so the Pareto Principle's gotta be like a universal law or something, right? Wrong! The Pareto Principle is a heuristic, which is philosophies for just trust me, bro. A heuristic is a rule of thumb, a vibe, not a law, not a theorem, just a straight up logic hack held together by over-caffeinated undergrads in the philosophy department. And also, real quick, don't get twisted here. The Pareto Principle is not the same as the Pareto distribution. It's tied to power law distributions, those freaky little math graphs where a few mega chonkers dominate all outcomes like Thanos snapping Gaussian curves out of existence. The distribution is a statistical math flex, while the principle is a grind-set Instagram reel from Gary V's forehead. The 80-20 principle is non-linear, which is a fancy way of saying effort and reward aren't exactly on speaking terms. Like FR, you can grind for 8 hours straight, get 2 caffeine overdoses, 3 mental breakdowns, and 20 minutes of actual progress. More chaos and less symmetry. And here's where Pareto gets extra spicy, like sriracha on a spreadsheet spicy. That 20%, guess what's inside it? Another 80-20. And inside that, another 80-20 there too. Every layer just opens up to more lopsided clownery. We're talking statistical inception inside a Russian nesting doll's fever dream of inequality. Not just uneven, it's unequally uneven. The problem with Pareto Principle is once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Just like when you walk in on your grandparents clapping cheeks. So you might be asking yourself, what do we do with this cursed knowledge? How does this affect us IRL? How do you live your life knowing that a tiny fraction of inputs control nearly everything, and the rest of your effort might just be spinning wheels in the void? But here's the thing, just because Pareto shows up a lot, doesn't mean every imbalance is Pareto. It's not some universal cheat code. Flip a coin, roll a die, check your weather app, stare at a quantum particle operating in probability, amplitudes, and interdeterminacy. These are random systems, and randomness is Pareto's final boss fight. So next time you take a girl on a date to McDonald's, lean in real smooth and whisper, did you know 80% of the orders come from 20% of the menu? Boom! Not cheap, you're demonstrating value. She's not just getting nuggets, she's getting nuggets of wisdom. And you've just turned fast food into a statistical seduction technique. Vilfredo Pareto would salute you with a grimace shake.